Hello, my name is Ioannis Dizoglou. In this video tutorial, we are going to take the next step, and the next step is to actually start developing the database. To do this, we need the data dictionaries, so we know the attributes and the parameters for each attribute. So let's go to Launch, Microsoft Access, and we are going to create a blank document. And we're going to browse the location where we want to save this document. So I'm going to save this into my Unit 10 folder. And I'm going to call this document GP Rochdale. Now in your case, you're going to call this whatever you want or wherever the requirements are. So if your client, say for instance, is Manchester, you can call it GP Manchester. So in my case, I'm just going to call this General Practice Rochdale. Let's click Create, and let's put this database on the side so I can actually I will be able to see the dictionaries. Let's go to the design view, and let's name our first table TBL patients. So I'm going to copy this TBL patients here. I'm going to make sure I don't have any spaces here. Click OK. Alright, so we have here the attributes. So we have the ID automatically added for us and is auto number. I'm going to copy the first name. I'm going to copy and paste the surname. I'm going to copy and paste the address, date of birth, phone number, gender ID, this is the FK, that one, email, and medical history. Let's remove the extra spaces, so make sure you do not have any spaces here. Alright, so for the first name I've got text, and I have specified the max length, so I'm going to put here let's increase the size here, field size, so we're going to put here for the ID. We don't have to we have long integer, it's okay, we can leave it as it is. So for the first name we have specified here 55. For the ID here I'm just gonna remove the number 9, so we're not putting any max sizes there. For the surname I'll put 55 again. You're gonna put, in your case, you're gonna put whatever value you have. For the address is 255, that's okay. For the phone number I'll put 17 there, 17. If you notice that they're all short text apart from that one, that's date and time. So consert OK, so on that one we put 17. The gender IDFK, this is number, and again I don't have to specify the number of characters, so we can actually remove that. So for the email address, let's put 255, that's okay. And for the medical history, we're going to change that to long text, and we're not going to put any restrictions. Okay, now let's go to the validation rules. So we have for the date of birth, I'm going to copy the validation rule here, and under the validation rule here we're going to paste the validation rule. The validation rule for the email is here. We're going to copy this, we're going to select the email field, and then we're going to put the validation rule. Okay, we have the validation rule here. Okay, do we have input masks? Okay, we don't have any input masks on this table. That's okay. So we are going to click save. Let's click here. Let's maximize that. Let's put 3 records. So I'm going to put David Green, address 12 Green Road. You can make up the dates, the records. So for the date of birth, so if I put future date, I should be able to receive a warning. That's good. Okay, so if we go back to, let's say, let's make this 2000. Okay, that's okay. So, and the telephone number, we're gonna say 07934343434. Now for the gender, we can put here is David, so we can put 2 will be my male. So here we're gonna put dgdavidgreen@gmail.com. Let's increase, oops. Okay, I found a better validation rule for email, so it's more robust. So let's go back here. I'm just going to replace this validation rule with this validation rule because the previous one was giving me a hard time. So I put is null or, okay, like, and then the end user can put anything they like as long as it after anything they like has the @ sign, and as long as after the second part, okay, there's a dot followed by whatever they like. Okay, so let's test this. So I'm gonna put here David dot green at gmail.com. So as you can see, I put uppercase, lowercase, I put dot here as well. Okay, it still accepts that, so it's not fussy. But if I put, say for instance here, comma, because you cannot have an email with a comma, yeah, it will block it. Or if I don't put a full stop, that's okay still. I think this validation rule is better. So I'm just gonna make this hide by clicking and dragging that. Okay, so medical history, I'm just gonna put here no applicable. Let's make this a bit smaller. Okay, that's my first record. I'm just gonna right click here and select copy, right click and select paste, and I'm just gonna make this blue, change that to Blue Road, change the year to 1980, change the number to 5, we'll leave the gender as it is, and then I'm gonna right click again and select paste. Here I'll need to change that to blue, and then I'm gonna say Vicky Green, Victoria Road, surname Green, name Victoria. Okay, I've got a couple different records here. Let's say Vicky was born in 2003. Her telephone number is 6. Okay, and is 6. She's a female, so I'm going to change that to 1. Okay, so I've got 3 records. So I'm going to close this now. I don't have to. Yeah, it's going to ask me to save it. I'll save that. So my first table is completed. Okay, let's put my second table. So I'm going to go to create and then select table, and then go to design view, and I'm gonna name my next table TBL staff, and here I've got the IDs already added for me: first name, surname, address, date of birth, phone number, gender ID. Now I know that this is a foreign key, so automatically goes to a number, to be a number. I don't have to specify the number of fields on the ID like I did on the above. So basically, by creating the database, I'm updating my dictionary. This is a good practice, so you know exactly what you have on the actual physical database. So make sure, it is important when you make updates on the actual database, you make the updates on the actual data dictionaries, because the data dictionary is the blueprint of your actual database. So the first name, 55 characters. Surname, 55 characters. Address, 255 characters. Date of birth, it says date on time, and then I will say less than now. This is the validation rule. I also have input mask here for the phone number. So if I go to the phone number and select input mask, so I'm going to put that there. Okay. And for the phone number, I have 17 characters, the length size. Okay. And it is done. Now I can actually go here and I can add 3 records. First name, I will say John Smith. Address, Rochdale Road. Let's put 1 Rochdale Road. Let's increase the size here. Let's make the last one click to add disappear by click and drag it. Right, John is a male, so I'm going to change the ID to 2. Now the number, the telephone number, as you can see, because I put an input mask here, I'm just going to put here 44 because it has plus 44. I will say 7943 4343 4343. Okay, so I've got enough characters there for my number, and the formatting is correct because I've used an input mask. And the date of birth, again, let's check the validation rule. Yeah, the validation rule works. So let's go back to change that to 2004 instead. Okay, so John Smith. So now the next record is, I'm going to copy this, paste it. I'm just going to call this Jack Smith. Manchester Road. He was born in 2002, and his number is ending in 5, and he's a male. And I'm gonna paste this again. I'm just gonna change that to Sandra Smith. She lives in let's call it Thameside, and then she was born in 2000, and then her number ends in, let's say, 4444. Yeah, and she's a female. Okay, and then you can put more records there. I'll just put some 3 records to check the actual database. So I've done that now. I can save this. By following the same process, I'm going to complete the next table we have, which is the appointments table, we're going to go to create, select table, select design view, TBL appointments. The IDs already exist. I'm going to put all the attributes first. That's the foreign key. Change that to number. This is short text as well. GB comments, we set it up as long text. Patient's ID is another foreign key. It must be a number, as the primary key is a number, auto number, sorry. So attended, this will be yes and no. Okay, let's set up the length of the characters again. The primary key and the foreign keys. Let's remove the restriction of the characters. Let's do the same for the agenda as well. Now the date and time of the appointment is 20. We will be changing this later because we will realize that the queries will not run successfully. For the meantime, we're going to break this purposely so you can actually identify how important the correct data type needs to be applied. Which needs to be applied is important, how important it is to apply the correct data types. So reason of the appointment 255 characters, that's okay. Now the date of the appointment, we can put some input masks there. And the time of the appointment, we can put an input mask as well. Now we've done that. We're going to put a couple of appointments here. So the date of the appointment, let's say like this 03/03/2024, and the time, let's say 10 o'clock, and the staff ID 1. We have 3 staff IDs, so we'll select 1. Reason for the appointment, test 1. GB comments, NA, let's put test 1. The patient ID, let's say like 1, and then attended yes. Can check the box. Can hide this. Let's copy this first record, paste it a couple more times, and let's change the time. Let's change the staff 2 and staff 3. This will be test 2, test 2, those will be test 3, test 3, patient number 2, patient number 3. They all attended. Let's change the date to 5th. Let's change the date to 6th. Oops. Let's change the today's date is the 24th of the 3rd. Let's put here 24th of the 3rd. Let's put 25th of the 3rd. And let's say 26th of the 3rd. Okay, 3 different times, that's okay. That's how we added the appointments. And the final table we need to create is the gender table. The gender table is quite straightforward. We only have 2 attributes. Go to the design view. Let's copy the name of the table. Then we're going to put here name, and then short text, 55 characters. And if you remember from the previous video tutorial, we'll put ID number 1 is a female, ID number 2 is male. We can hide this and select here other. Then you can put different genders as well if you wish. So I'll put it 3 for now. Okay, so let's exit this. And this is how we create our tables and adding records to our tables. Let's hide that. By using Microsoft Access. Let's hide that. So when you open the table again, it might come up with this, click here to add. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've learned something new today. I hope you will use these new skills to create your database. Bye for now.